hear the polls are busy, huh?
They are busy.
We could have a big surprise tonight, folks. Big surprise. Feels like South Carolina. This feels like New Hampshire. I think you're going to have a big turnout. You're going to have a great surprise today.
Wisconsin, the home of a Major League Baseball team where once on a glorious time a man dressed up in a period costume would throw himself down a slide into a seeming vat of Milwaukee brewed suds every time a member of the home team went yard and brought the crowd to its feet. Where people proudly wear styrofoam cheese wedges on their head, signifying their love for the fermented curd of the region, and will look upon you with distrust if you mock them, throwing tiny slices of unaged cheddar at you because why waste the good aged stuff? And where the fate of 5 people will be told this evening by some of the smartest voters in America, who after voting will adjourn for libation and the aforementioned curds and whey. No canned responses then from the political animal. Adult beverages at the ready. And if anybody chooses their cheese from a can, you're fired. First, he is the senior political contributor at Forbes, co-host of the Not Cheesy, Steele and Ungar on Sirius XM POTUS 124, weeknights at 6 Eastern, Rick Ungar, joined by the former head of FEMA and radio talker verbally hammering common sense into the population along the Rockies at 6:30 KHOW in Denver every weekday afternoon at 4 Mountain, Michael Brown. She's at the ready, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get to it. Mr. Ungar,
I heard was adult beverages already.
That's what I figured. No, I wanted to go right past it because I know with you.
Before we go, I want to know, Berliner, are you now taking some of my Social Security money?
No, I am not.
Are you of a certain age?
Is this a way for you to wish me a happy birthday and try and be snarky about it? Is that where it is?
Of course.
You did not make it, my friend. I am not accepting your Social Security money. Nay, I do not have them lined up to go ahead and say, Mr. Berliner, please sign this donor card right now. Okay?
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you very much. Please don't sing. We'd all be in trouble at that point. Rick, let me begin with you. Hey, we got Pennsylvania, New York, California. We got all these states sitting here. Why the heck are we so worried about Wisconsin, Rick?
Well, you know what? If Trump can do what he says he's going to do, which is pull off a big surprise, that probably would pretty much seal the deal because he is in pretty good shape in New York, and California would become less important. My suspicion is he's not going to do as well as he seems to think he is, and that Wisconsin will put a bit of brakes on his ability to get to that first-round victory. Now, with Bernie, it's really much more about keeping the run going. He's won a lot of primaries in a row, but see, the issue is he has to win by a very wide margin to have a real impact on her delegate counts. He may win by a couple of points, but that means they virtually split the delegates. He's not going to catch up that way.
Michael, isn't it fair to say that Donald Trump once again has proven why he is so masterful at so many things and has at the point where he is right now? Because here he is, he's had a horrible week, a bad time. What does he do? He puts out his Mexico pay-for-the-wall border plan out here. It's that shiny set of keys that everybody loves to look at, and he's got everybody talking about it right now. That's the thing. It's brilliant because now people are going to go to the polls. He's re-energizing, Mike.
He is re-energizing, and it is the bright, shiny object we all look at. Look, I'm such a nerd that I downloaded and read the entire GOP convention rules. I read all the rules about delegate selection and everything else. I can't find any cheating going on anywhere, and I think what Donald Trump has decided is that you can run for president by just giving speeches and showing up at rallies. He doesn't get that the campaign is in the trenches. It's on the primary votes. It's getting those unbound delegates. It's getting those convention delegates, those congressional district delegates. He's forgotten all about that. So now we throw out this Mexico thing, and he thinks that somehow that's going to help him win.
But it will. But wait a minute, Mike. It does help him because people hear that. They're in the polls, brother. They're right there. They love it when he talks like this.
But
financial blackmail is very effective for getting votes.
Oh yeah, we're going to show up at hotel rooms now. That's the latest thing I read, is that he's going to send people to the delegates' hotel rooms if he suspects anything.
Well, I do believe, though, to be fair, I think that came from Roger Stone. I believe Roger Stone is the one who said, let's go ahead and get people out there and let's give out the hotel room numbers for people in Cleveland. That's despicable.
Yes. And look, it sounds trite, but the only poll that really matters is the poll that closes at 7 or 8 p.m. tonight in Wisconsin, and we'll see what happens. I think that Trump is going to lose. Now, look, and I agree with Rick. If Trump were to win tonight, I think it's all over but the shouting. But if he doesn't win, I think it's more likely than not that we have an open contested convention. And I don't know why people are so afraid of that. We've done it before. We'll do it again. And guess what? Somebody will emerge. It'll be Trump or Cruz.
Hey, listen, with about 60 seconds to go before we take a break, Rick, let me come to you then on that phrase contested convention. I think what Mike says here is right. Why are we so afraid of it? Not just on the right, but on the left, because now Bernie Sanders is talking about he wants that contested convention. Look, we're looking at both parties going at it right now, tooth and nail, hammer and tong. This is exactly what the American political system was made to be sometimes. Fight for your candidate, yes?
Yeah, we can remove the left from the conversation because while Bernie may want a contested convention, he's not going to get one. On the right-hand side of the equation, yeah, it's a better and better chance, Mike's right, if Trump goes down tonight, and I think he probably will, it increases the chances. But where I do disagree with Mr. Brown, if it's a contested convention, I would suggest to you that neither Trump nor Cruz will be the nominee of the party.
Are you bringing Paul Ryan into it?
Well, I don't know. You know, Paul Ryan, if he had actually run for president, I think he'd be a very viable person to take on and probably beat Hillary Clinton. But I think that there's a lot of trouble that comes with that nomination because you'd see a lot of Republicans staying home. If you really do an analysis, I think what you find is the most viable candidate to come out of an open convention is, in fact, John Kasich.
All right, 10 seconds to you, Mike. Yes or no?
He might be the most viable. But I hope to God that that's not the case because I don't think Casey can win in a general election.
All right, now we're going to talk about...
And I think he's the only one you have that can.
All right, now it's funny you mentioned that because that's where we're going to go right after the break. John Kasich, Bernie Sanders, and a little bit more here. FBI involved, all that stuff. Stand by, gentlemen. Halftime break, another dose of the political animal. The reason why Donald Trump stays atop the polls no matter what they throw at him is because he puts out those shiny things people want to hear. We're going to tell you some other things you want to hear next on The Hardline. I like that. I like that. You guys didn't see that little happy birthday ad there. Very nice. They captured the essence of the man indeed.
You know what it is.
The cone head?
We know what it is, and we're happy to see the company didn't spare any expense.
No expense
in celebrating your birthday.
Yes, that's right. We got somebody out there from one of the local public schools to go out and just draw a little graphic there. Very nice. Oh, I'm going to get so hammered for that later. I'm kidding. All right, let's get back to it. Rick Ungar and Michael Brown. Here we go. Gentlemen, thank you very much. And thank you to the folks in the control room. That's very nice. Okay. 112 never felt much better than this. All right, let's go ahead and get to this now. Hey, Kasich was mentioned the last time out. I want to begin with you on this one, Mike, because people believe that John Kasich is the fact it's mathematically impossible for him to do anything. That's what they say overall, that he is the most electable. Why would people consider him to be the most electable?
I have no idea. And look, to go to the idea of a contested convention, and if Trump or Cruz are not the nominee after the first, second, or third ballot, it truly has to be a consensus candidate, somebody that nobody's thinking about, somebody that nobody has considered before. I don't know who that is. I don't think it's Paul Ryan. I don't think it's John Kasich. In fact, I have no freaking clue who it might be. But it has to be a consensus candidate that the 2,000 plus delegates say, okay, we can do that.
Well, but if indeed,
Let's put up Brown.
Okay, well, why not? With you as vice president, oh my God, we'd all be in big trouble. Look, people say that Ted Cruz is hated by Republicans, absolutely despised. But wait a minute, Rick, I'll throw this to you then from the left to talk about it here for a second. You're a political guy. You know these kind of things the way they work, though. Doesn't it say, though, that if you're on the right, you better get behind this guy or else, because some people are saying if you don't, then you're going to lose to the Democrats flat out. No chance. You can't do it.
Well, there's two problems when it comes to Cruz. First off, you have to recognize that the support Cruz has been getting of late is not Ted Cruz support. It's the anti-Trump, Stop Trump movement. So it's not like he's gaining a lot of strength. That's number one. Number two, you would have to struggle to find a poll that suggests that I just merged them. Ted Cruz could even end up in the same universe with Clinton in a general election. He's in worse shape, I think, than Trump is. So I think at the point, listen, if Trump cannot be chosen on the first, maybe second ballot, that support for for Cruz evaporates because they were never really for him in the first place. Now you end up with a situation where either what Michael suggests happens and it's somebody we're not thinking of, or what I suggest happens, somebody who at least ran the gauntlet, being Kasich, becomes the nominee.
I know that you both get this reference, but Pat Paulson, where are you?
Yes.
Would only happen in this day and age. Okay,
He's
now
up
I'm
in
going to.
Traverse City at the Cherry Theater.
He probably is right now. God rest his soul somewhere. He's still hovering over it somewhere. All right, now that was a right question for the left guy, so now a left question for the right guy. Mike, on this one, the FBI Director James Comey says no urgency to wrap up this investigation before the conventions. I got news for you. If I'm someone sitting on the left, Michael, I'm going to say, get on with this, will you please? You're going to take us right to the edge of the convention, and we still won't know if she's going to jail?
Look, I think Comey's doing what any good prosecutor's doing, and that would do, and that is keep everybody guessing about what you're doing. And so by saying that, if he comes out tomorrow with an indictment, or comes out tomorrow, or 2 weeks before the convention, or the day before the convention, and says, "Look, we're not going to recommend an indictment," he's playing his cards close to his chest by saying that there won't be anything in the near future. I think that's precisely what he should do, too. Keep everybody guessing.
But do you think at the end of the day, and people are now starting to admit this, Michael, that Hillary Clinton is not going to be brought up on charges, that there will be no trial here, and people need to start understanding that? There's a very, very slim chance of that happening.
I think there's a very slim chance of it, but the more I read about what really took place and you make some of the comparisons, look, I had all the top clearances. And if I had done what Hillary Clinton had done, I would have at least been charged with a misdemeanor. So there's still a part of me that thinks there's a chance. It may not be. We hear the word indictment and we think someone's going to jail for 40 years or for their life. This may actually end up being a misdemeanor charge that is, 6 months of probation, and you pay $1,000 fine and nobody cares. It's like hunting without a license or something. She may end up with that. I'm not convinced that nothing's going to happen, but I think it's a slim chance.
15 seconds to you, Rick Ungar. Tell us what you expect to see happen tonight in Wisconsin.
Oh, I think you'll see Sanders win by a few points, not enough to make a dent, and I think Cruz will probably win by 5 to 7.
You agree, though, that Sanders would really have to overwhelmingly win to have something happen here. He just can't sneak by.
He's got to do that every step of the way from here on out if he really wants to make a dent in her delegate count, and I haven't seen anything that suggests that's going to occur.
Mr. Brown, 20 seconds to you tonight in Wisconsin.
Oh, I agree completely with what Rick just said. I think Cruz wins by 5, 7, maybe even 10 points. Bernie wins by a few points. I think what happens tonight is it doesn't change anything on the Democrat side. I think it might change some stuff on the Republican side, simply make it look more feasible that we are going to have a contested convention.
There's my birthday present. Everybody's happy. Everybody agrees. My God, we've done it. We've solved the world, damn it. We do it here every week. Hey, guys.
Good night, folks.
Thanks.
We'll be here all week.
Hey, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate the wishes. Take care. Michael Brown and Rick Ungar. The man first charged with keeping America safe. Tom